Hello there, welcome to 3Spoonies. We're your hosts, Karen, Claire, and Joe. This is episode 1.5, where we're going to be discussing our origin stories. Let's get into some questions. Hi there, this is Karen from Pony.
I'm Claire from Sparkle's Gift Boutique.
And I'm Jo from Brightcat Business Solutions.
Together, we are 3Spoonies, navigating our way through life and business with not enough spoons. So we are going to be talking today about our origin stories, and we've had some lovely questions from the community that we are going to be answering. Claire, would you like to take over?
I will. It'll be sneaky. Before I start with Mooney's questions, I have one from Joe's origin story. I'm going to ask now because otherwise I will forget. You said about your nerves needing to reattach because I'm fascinated by all these kind of things. Tell me more about how does that work?
So the thing with Bell's palsy is it's the fifth facial nerve which sits in a tiny channel just behind your ear. And if it gets inflamed, like it's being attacked by a virus, which is what they think it's caused by, it basically cuts off and dies. And depending on how long you've got, I think about 3 days to treat it before it's really going to be a problem and completely has to regrow. But once the inflammation goes down, it has to re-establish those connections, depending on the amount of damage done, whether it has to completely regrow or just reattach. And it's excruciatingly painful. As you probably know, nerve pain hurts. Nerves reattaching and regrowing is even worse.
Yeah, I know how much nerve pain hurts, so I can't even imagine the pain that you could have gone through on that.
I've never experienced pain like it.
Especially there as well. It's like, like ear pain and tooth pain. You can't
No,
escape it, can you? Oof.
no, it's just there always. It was rather horrible.
Yeah, I'm sorry you went through that because I wouldn't want to, definitely. So now I've got my question out of the way and being sneaky. Let's go to some of our guest questions. So we have one from Katie, which is, what's the biggest challenge that you've faced? So who wants to tackle that one first for their challenge?
I'll go first. The biggest challenge I faced, being an introvert, stepping outside my comfort zone, particularly when it came to things like networking. If you've met me early 2020, I was terrified. The worst, like the most scariest thing I've ever done was stand up, say who I am and what I've done. These days, it's fine. I can wing it. I can give a talk. It's all fine. But it took a long time to build that confidence and know what I was saying. And I don't think it helps when you're starting a business to go, well, I'm really good. Don't I do this? Because people don't
So
respond to
you've
it.
got to say why you're good, and it's like, oh, well, I've just started.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know why I'm here. Help. So yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge. I mean, I've been pushed outside of my comfort zone a million times now, and it's always a little bit scary, but not to that point.
Yeah, so you still have those nerves, but it just gets a bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my biggest challenge was got to be kind of learning to tune out the people around me when I first went self-employed that were just like, oh, but why are you not working? Like, you should have a proper job. And it's that definition of a proper job. And it took me ages not to let their opinions kind of weigh me down because I really did believe that it wouldn't kind of work as a business. And I'm just kind of winging it a lot. I mean, I was winging it 100% at the start, but it's that it gets in your head that you end up believing you can't actually take it further, and you lose that belief in yourself. I think tuning all of that out, it's taken me years, but now I've kind of adjusted to it. That was hard. It's because it always comes from people close to you as well. I've found, especially in lockdown, I found my biggest supporters for my business came not from my friends and my family, but from people I met online and through networking. And you think people you don't know wouldn't be your biggest cheerleaders, and you think it'd be family that would. Completely the other way around. I think that was my biggest challenge, coming over that.
Absolutely. I mean, my thing was always it has to work because I have no other choice. And that
Mm.
sort of kept me going anytime there's been a speed bump.
Yeah, so this has to work because there is no backup option.
Yeah.
What about you, Karen?
Yeah, it's slightly related. I find the thing with disability as well is sometimes you can have imposter syndrome and reverse imposter syndrome at the same time. So there's that imposter syndrome, like, oh no, everyone will find out I can't do the stuff I say I can. And then there's the reverse imposter syndrome, which is like, everyone will find out I can do the stuff I say I can't. And it's like, that stuff like, am I disabled enough? Like, could I do a bit more? Am I just being lazy? And you get like, the helpful people in local newspapers saying, oh, well, my Auntie Doreen worked until she was 97 and she had 13 children and did 2 jobs and she's just a pair of sentient eyelids. So why can't you do more and get a full-time job? Or the toxic positivity thing as well. She thought she could, so she did. It's never like she thought she could, but she was massively wrong. So she ended up throwing up in a bin and shouting at the steward who was only trying to help, and that's why she got banned from parkrun. It's always, just try hard enough and you'll get there. And sometimes you have to go, do you know what? It's not going to happen. I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah, you can try hard as you like, but sometimes it's not happening, and
Mm.
you're going to break yourself in the process.
Definitely. I definitely relate with that one. I have so many times when I'm just like, oh, how do I cope with this? Or people say, but the worst one is people are like, oh, but you managed to do this. And I'm like, but you don't realize, yes, I managed to do that, but the downtime that I needed afterwards, because you push yourself through it.
Mm.
And I know you two have, we've done like, we've met up on weekends and stuff and we've gone away for things. And we've learned travel the day before so you can rest that evening, do your day, have the day after to rest and travel home. When you have to push it all down into one, it's like I'm going to be like flat on my back for like 3 days.
Mm.
Um,
And then, of course, the sneaky one a few days after when it just hits you.
yeah,
Yeah, when you thought you got away with it.
and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, it's not as bad, and then no, I'm flat on my ass. So let's go on to our next question, which is from Mel, and it's how did you know you was on the right track?
Still don't know if I'm on the right track.
I
Actually,
was,
no,
I was
I
about to
do.
say what track because there's
Yeah,
many tracks.
I mean, it's a squiggly line at this point. But no, I mean, I started off with doing basic admin because I've been an administrator in various guises for years. It's what I could do. And then I learnt new skills and found out clients needed different things and found more stuff that I enjoyed. So my track changed. And now I've added in other things like being a community leader and this podcast, and I really enjoy it. Unfortunately, that means I tend to procrastinate with other things, but it's all about finding that balance. I'm not sure there is one track. There is occasionally shiny object syndrome. And there's just going, I'm going to go do this now and see if it works. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, I'll try something else.
Yeah, really don't think I've ever stuck to one. I've never kind of like been like, oh, this is my plan, this is what I'm doing, and this is how it is. It's a lot of throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. And it's the learning curves and the mistakes you make, and just, I mean, having a business coach really helps because she knows what I should be doing, and she's like, go this way, this is what you're doing with this, and because I'm like, I have all these ideas, and then I'm like, what one do I do? How do I do it? And that mass panic.
Yeah, or she
Mm.
has many ideas, and you're like, right, let's do this. And it is a whirlwind. And I will say now that we do have the lovely Sheena Wyatt joining us in the next episode on business planning.
The reason she's joining us because she really helps us in business.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's a. I think I'm on the right track for me right now. I think is the way to put
Mm.
it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this track could go so far, and then I'm like, look, get back to reality. You can dream a bit, but don't like be realistic.
Mm.
It's what about you, Cam? Do you ever feel like you're on the right path? You're not on the right path? It's going in a roller coaster.
Yeah, I think we've all gone sort of in slightly different directions and things, haven't we? I think it's knowing what's right for now is a big part of it when sort of you've got plans to go forward, but you're like, actually, it's working now. I've got energy to do things I enjoy. I don't feel too out of my depth with it. It's all the things that you can sort of take for granted and things when it's all taken away to sort of have those things gradually back in place is sort of really empowering, actually. And if you can sort of tick off, yep, that's working. And as you said, be realistic. It's not all going to be perfect all the time, or there may be bits that you don't particularly like, or you'd rather outsource in the long term, things like that. But it's like, do you know what? At the moment, it's okay. And I think sometimes being okay is a lot better than it's complete chaos and I'm miserable and I've not left my bedroom for 3 weeks and I've gone through 75 packs of tissues because I'm crying and full of mucus. If you've not got that, it's all a bonus.
Yeah, as you said that, one thing that came into my head was just like, you know, you kind of know when you're on the right track. If what you're doing, you're happy doing it, and it makes you
Mm,
happy. Because I know I went through a stage, especially I think at the start of lockdown, people were like, "Oh, could you just do this?" And I ended up doing very generic things that you could just get anywhere, and I hated it.
mm.
And it was like, I lost my love for what I was doing. And then when I moved house and I took a break, I was like, right, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do this. I'm doing it my way. I'm not doing the generic stuff that people can just go to anyone else and it's all very samey. And I want to be different because that's where my passion is. So I think if you enjoy what you're doing, that's definitely like a right path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
The Activity Connector's mission is to inspire children, young people, and adults alike to find the right activities for them through collaboration. We believe there is a sport or activity for everyone. We aim to bring organisations together to benefit children, young people, and adults within the educational setting. If there is a particular need, we would love to talk to you and see if we can help you fill that need. We are currently working with organisations in domestic abuse, county lines, and mental health, first aid training, and sports coaching. Do you have a hobby that makes a massive impact to you? Or are you looking for that hobby? Why not drop us a message or take a listen to the Power of a Hobby podcast? Or we're always looking for more guests to come on and share what they love to do. And do you work in a charity and want to get more exposure about what we do? Or are you looking at sporting events and need more support to set these up and run them? Why not drop us a message and we can chat and see what way we can support you?
So then we have Jenny, which is words out. Is there anything that you got wrong that you can advise us to avoid? Oh God. When you see new shiny things that you think, oh, I really want to do this, don't jump head first into it sometimes. Kind of have a think, research, and plan. Because it's really easy to kind of jump in and get overwhelmed. And then you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm spinning too many plates and everything's going to fall apart. And it just causes more stress. I mean, I love a new shiny thing, as I say.
We all do, yeah.
I'll add to that when everything is going really well and you've got lots of work in and it's great, don't stop networking. For the love of God, don't stop networking because all of a sudden your pipeline dries up and you need it and then you have to start again. I have done that maybe twice now. Don't do it.
I'm currently in that situation. Yeah. But then I think life got in the way, so I kind of put it to the side. And then it was like, what am I doing? I need to get back into it. And then it's the fear of going back out there.
It is.
Mm,
I also point out that, yeah, sometimes life gets in the way. Don't beat yourself up.
mm. That, and sometimes be careful who you're listening to, because there's some people that have always done things a certain way and it won't occur to them there is an alternative, and they're not trying to mislead you necessarily, but it's like people have always done a certain kind of networking, or they've operated in a certain way or a certain kind of planning. That's what works for them. It may not be what works for you, so find out about alternatives, because there may be things that you go, oh, I can't get my head around that. And maybe if someone explains it slightly differently, or you look at a different way to visualize or something like that, suddenly it all clicks into place. So don't assume you're doing something wrong. It may just be that's not the right method for you, or that's not the right method for you at the moment, which can also be a thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all do things very differently, and everyone's got something that works for them. It's yeah, it works that way. I thought of something as you're saying that, and it's completely gone from my brain. I'm just like, no, I can't remember what it was. It's gonna bug me. It will come back to me, I think. Who knows? So that is them ones. Karen, did you have any other questions uh, for either of us? I'm
Oh,
gonna throw us in the
um,
mix to see what we could have for each other.
Um, yeah, we've talked a bit about throwing stuff at the wall. Is there sort of an idea or a type of business or something that in your wildest dreams you'd think, yeah, I'd give that a go, but the realistic part takes over and you go, no, I can't do that. Is there something you'd properly love to do, but it's a bit off the wall?
Oh, I can answer this easily. So before I was self-employed, I used to work in pubs and hospitality, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Wasn't fussed that I wasn't going out on a weekend because I preferred just working behind the bar and I could deal with that chaos because I wasn't in pain. And my dream was to have my own pub slash restaurant, and I had it all envisioned in my head, like three different floors, massive building, and that was my goal for years. Obviously, chronic pain got in the way, but if I didn't have the chronic pain and I could manage that kind of 70-hour week plus lifestyle again, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It's weird, even though I love the time that I have at home, just knowing that I could, yeah, I'd still do it.
I can also easily answer this question. I would run an animal sanctuary. Obviously, I am
Oh,
not well enough to look after most animals these days, except my cats. But yeah, I would just love to be surrounded by animals that other people didn't want and I could take care of. Obviously, with staff to help take care of.
what about you?
I'd like to have a massive row of terraced houses and set it up so everyone's got their own living quarters, like upstairs, and downstairs there's loads of craft bits. So there's something for silversmithing, like a kiln, somewhere you can blow glass, somewhere with spinning wheels, and like alpacas in the back garden. So everyone can. Oh, and I'd like slidey tubes. So you can go down into all the different sections. So you're like, I feel like doing some felting today. Whee!
I love
And
that.
slide into the felting studio and it'd be amazing.
I think you had me at the blown glass bit. I'd love to learn how to do that.
Just don't
I
breathe in by accident.
Yeah, no.
that'd be my luck. Joe, anything questions you want to throw at us? You can say no. I won't be offended.
Second, where are you trying to take your business currently? Obviously, we've discussed it goes in different directions.
I think at the moment, I just want my business to be in a place where I can get a decent wage from it and I just have money sitting in the bank so that if I'm like, oh, let's go and do this for a weekend or let's do this, I can do it without having to kind of pre-plan and save and do all of the adulting that comes with it. Just to kind of have those spur of the moment kind of, oh, let's go and do this. And, just to be able to enjoy life a little bit more. I think then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Karen?
I'd like an apprentice or apprentices so I can sort of train them up that they can come in, bring in their own ideas, start doing some courses on things that really interest them, sort of expand a bit of a skill set, and to have it be a nice, supportive environment as well. Because I'd love to be able to find apprentices who maybe don't thrive in interviews, but prepared to work really hard, be creative, and come at things from a different angle. I'd love to be able to do that.
That sounds really cool. I mean, my plan is the same plan I've had for quite some time, is to take on associates who do the actual work and have enough for them. And then I can spend my time finding the work, talking to clients and sort of managing it all. Because that really helps when I am too ill to do it myself.
That makes sense. I suppose for
Mm.
me to have more freedom, I'd need someone to help me as well. So it's kind of going down that path. It's giving up that control. I find it really hard.
Yeah, me too.
Mm. Yeah.
It's, I'm just like, I do it this way and I don't want to. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to throw a question out for us. And I'm gonna put what am I gonna put? I think I'd have one ready since I threw us under the bus there. Um, so with everything that we've done in business, what is the thing that you are proudest of so far? Like your a big achievement that you didn't think you would have?
Two things. One, getting my business to viability during a pandemic. As I said, that there was no other choice, but I'm still really proud of it. And two, on the Small Business Sunday Award.
Yay! That is something to be proud of. Well, they both are, to be fair.
Mm.
Not just one, both. Karen.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say my Networker of the Year award because I am by far not a natural networker, but I've made it work. So hooray for me.
Oh no, you really deserve that as well. Definitely. I think for me, I've kept my business going. It's grown year on year, and I've finally kind of got that mindset of I can do this and believing in myself. I'm still not at the stage of like being like, oh, let's go for an award because I'm not ready for
We'll
You and
nominate you.
I already have.
that. Oh, okay. But yeah, just being able to believe in myself and have that kind of faith in what I'm doing. And, when I'm, oh, let's think, do I want to do this instead? And kind of, or add something to the business, like having the faith in myself that I can make it work and do it. That is really big for me because I never really had that kind of ever. So yeah, that would be mine. And that is all our questions. Woohoo.
Hooray for us. Well, thank you for joining us, 3Spoonies, on our origin stories. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comment and any questions you may have. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe for our weekly podcast and leave us a review on your favourite podcasting platform, which is surprisingly tricky to say. You can find us on social media, and we'd love it if you join us in the Business Success Network for Disabled Entrepreneurs Facebook group. You can also buy us a coffee if you like what we do. All the links will be in our show notes. And we'll see you next week for our next topic, which is business planning with Sheena Wyatt. See you there. Have a lovely day and keep checking on your spoons. Bye bye.
Bye.